Hey everyone.
Hi everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. We're excited to get started and introduce you guys to Tailwind for Instagram.
Yes, Melissa's been working very hard over the last 3 months with Tailwind for Instagram. As we kind of had it in development, she's been using it on our own Instagram account and having really fantastic success. So you guys get to hear the story of that, of how we've used it and how we've saved time. And some of the great sort of features that transfer really well over to Instagram are the smart schedule, which means that you always post at the right time, which is super important for engagement with the Instagram algorithm.
Of course.
And then there's all sorts of efficiency features that basically allow you to post more regularly, and front load your time. So basically you can schedule out a week's worth of posts in an hour.
Yep.
And not have to worry so much about Instagram, not have be that constant sort of drain on your mental energy. So maybe, of course, if you're interested in Tailwind for Instagram, go to tailwindapp.com/Instagram, and I'll share that link with you. And Melissa, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what you've been up to.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our screen here, and I just want to show you guys, like, the proof is in the graphs here. We have been thinking about Instagram and sort of planning out getting started with Instagram for a while, and so you can see that we had pretty mediocre follower growth, and then it just skyrocketed this fall. And that's when we sort of figured out what we were doing and what we should be posting and how we should be growing our account. A lot of that is thanks to our own tool. We're very big proponents of what we call eating our own dog food.
I don't call it that.
Us Americans call it eating your own dog food. And so I had to use our tool to figure out what was working, how to use it, how to get people engaged with our content. And as you can see, the follower growth has been really strong. Our comments have been just growing exponentially over time. Same with our likes. And it all started around the time that we implemented our new strategy by using our scheduling and analytics tool, which is amazing.
Now, of course, it's worth mentioning that at about the same time we started with this follower growth here, that line, specifically on October the 29th, we allowed people to automatically follow us when they signed up with an Instagram account,
Yes.
when they OAuthed. And so that's that kind of that immediate spike, but the likes is a much better representation of your work and the power of Tailwind for Instagram, because you can see that the growth in the likes has been since before then, and it's been very much steady since we really started using it.
Yeah, so just because someone is auto-following us, that does not mean that they are engaging with our content. So it's great to pay attention to your likes and your comments as well to better gauge how you're performing, and especially paying attention to how your followers are reacting to your content. All right. So the first thing when getting started with Tailwind for Instagram that you will do is set up your schedule. And as you'll see right now, I have one time slot selected each day, but you can come here and change that up. I know that posting multiple times per day is very important, and David, if you'd like to sort of speak to that a little bit as to why it is important.
Well, actually, I did some research on this, and part of the reason I did the research is because Tailwind for Instagram has some really great features that we're going to show you that people use for the Pinterest side to post a lot. You're able to really schedule out a lot of content really rapidly, especially with the browser extension and with bulk uploading. And so I was interested in how does engagement fall off for brands if they post more than about once or twice a day, which is what most brands do on Instagram, right? And part of the reason they do that is because it's difficult to come up with all the content for Instagram. Well, the answer is it does not. Studies have shown that brands who post 4 and more times, they don't get any less engagement than if they posted just that once or twice. So each post gets the same amount of engagement, so they could just be doing twice as well on Instagram if they just did twice as much.
Yep.
So there's no reason we can't do more. Then the challenge is, how do we create that content? And we got some great tools that will show you that help with that.
Definitely. And so from here you can say how many times per day you want to post. My goal for 2017 is to get up to 4 times per day so that we're sharing great content with you guys every single day. And I'll talk a little bit more about our content schedule here in a bit. But you can also, I am not a morning person. David can attest that I am late pretty much every day to work. I am not a morning person. So
no, you're not. It's true. But I am, so we've got it covered.
We have the full day covered. So I would probably push mine back to like 10:15 or so, and well into the night. I'm a night owl, so I'll be awake then. But even when you're getting started and you don't feel comfortable posting 4 times today, like I don't feel comfortable posting 4 times today, as I get more comfortable, I can add these recommended time slots here. And these are the time slots that Tailwind has determined are best for me to post when my audience is most engaged. However, if you have a particular time that you want to post, maybe it's before an event or something, you can go ahead and add a time slot here and adjust that to be whatever time you would like it to be. All right, so do we have any questions so far?
None yet. Actually, let me see. We do. Is there a way to add notation on a specific date? Like in Google Analytics, can we say, hey, something happened here? And the answer to that is not yet. That's an interesting feature idea, though. It
is. Although, I'm going to bounce back over to our profile real quick. So since we launched, we had a lot of people authenticating, and you can see that our follower growth on January 10th was 317 followers in that one day.
Woohoo! Which just goes to show the strength of the launch.
Right.
There's pent-up demand for this, so thank you guys so much. We've had a great launch.
Down here it's 21, 22, and then 317. So while we can't really annotate or bookmark that, you can always see when something happens, because that guy kind of sticks out like a sore thumb here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I meant by the different beats that we have, or the different content that we have that I have been working on curating and posting for Tailwind since I took over the Tailwind account. And you can see as we scroll through, there's a little bit of a pattern. There's quotes on the right side, every other 9 grid, and then in the middle there are different blog posts or features that are coming up. And then on the left, we have different Instagram tips. Intermix between those to sort of break it up and block off some of the, keep it regular in there. We have different posts from our team and from our users, because we want to show the personality of Tailwind, not just us as a company, but us as users as well. So you guys have helped to make this content journey what it is, and we really thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting to note the way that you've put this together. It's a little OCD, if you don't mind me.
A little bit.
But nonetheless, it's really great. And as an editor type myself, I think there's a real power to this, because what you've done is you've said, rather than having a blank slate and I can post anything at any time, I'm going to limit myself to a number of specific different types of content, and then I can see which ones work and which ones don't. And when a specific one doesn't work, I'll throw it out and I'll bring a new kind of beat in to that slot. But then it also allows you to schedule really effectively, because in any week I need a piece of content like this, a piece like this, a piece like this, a piece like this, etc. And you can put them in that order, and then away you go. Does that help you kind of wrangle in all of that sort of disorder and chaos? Does it help you to keep organized, I suppose is what I'm asking.
Oh, absolutely. And just because this is how I do it, I'm not saying that's how you have to do it. But for me, especially with us being a software as a service company rather than a physical product, it really helps me sort of wrap my mind around what our users are looking for, and what they want to see from us. I know they want to see tips about things, they want to see our new blog content, they want to see us. We have a couple of new people, and you'll be getting introduced to them through Instagram, which is a lot of fun.
And of all the things all of the different beats that you're putting out there, which has been the most successful? What do we see the most engagement on?
I would say our Instagram tips.
See, now that makes perfect sense to me, right? Because what do you guys who follow us on Instagram care about most? Instagram and learning about marketing through Instagram.
Right.
So that's just I think that's a really good alignment. And we know that, right? Because of Post Inspector, which we're going to investigate a little bit later.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And it's exciting that you guys interact with that content and, you're telling us what you want to see, which helps so much. Okay. So switching back over here, I am going to go to my scheduled posts page. So you can see that I have a couple of empty spots here, but you can see my quotes that we saw a minute ago, some Instagram tips, and different pictures from the team. And so I need to fill in these empty spaces here. So I'm going to create new posts, upload images.
One of the things I love about this, by the way, is how familiar this all feels from Pinterest.
Yes.
I really like the idea of having both these visual networks on one tool. That really helps me. It's the same workflow.
I agree. And that really helped me getting started because I've been with this company for almost 5 years. I know what's going on pretty well and how to interact with this content. All right. And it's a very similar workflow. So if you're familiar with Tailwind for Pinterest, this is going to feel very natural. So I'm going to come over here and copy my captions. This one is for our new product designer. Her name is Sam. I'll be able to learn a little bit more about her coming up.
She's lovely.
She's great. We got to talk to her for a little bit yesterday and really excited to get to know her a little bit more. So I'll schedule that one, and then this one will go in the next slot.
So one of the things about bulk upload as well is that it enables you to work with photos you've uploaded to your computer. You can use a DSLR camera, upload a bunch of photos, and then bulk schedule them all at once, right? Sam's
photo here, it could have been taken with an iPhone, or it could have been taken with a DSLR camera and edited in Photoshop. And if for a photographer in particular, I feel like that's a really powerful
a lot of people
tool.
have the issue with Instagram that you can't actually post from desktop, and this does solve that. You can now schedule from your desktop computer, which is really powerful.
And you'll see here that I have some hashtags below. I leave a space here, and I'll show you when we're posting, but I like to make my hashtags be separate from my description just to sort of give it a little bit of breathing room. So that's one way that you can add content. So by clicking here and uploading images, and then there's the Chrome extension.
Which is a real competitive advantage, as far as I'm concerned.
I totally agree. Wednesday, we need a part of my OCD. We need a quote post or something to go into that slot that is not a person or a photo necessarily. So I'll click on our browser extension. And I'll come here and go schedule.
And you could have pulled, there were various different Instagram images.
I could have pulled a lot of images from there. And I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my queue for now. And you can see all my different posts in there. So you can schedule from your website, which is really, really useful. Or you can schedule from Instagram. So here I've pulled up the hashtag Tailwind Family. And
love these guys.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and schedule out this beautiful picture of two of our product developers.
They're our most handsome product
definitely.
Developers.
You can tell in this picture. Sorry everyone else, but these two really take the cake. So I'll schedule here. And you can see that it says Regram via Daniel P. Maloney. One of the amazing, amazing things about our browser extension is that it gives that automatic attribution. So you don't have to worry about, accidentally stealing someone's photo or forgetting to put their handle in there. We take care of it for you.
Now, of course, it's always best to reach out and ask people to basically let people know, I want to regram this on my account. Is that okay with you? That's an important part of the process, but this really speeds things up. If you wouldn't mind, would you mind going back to the hashtag page, because you just grabbed it from that page. You could also use the browser extension on this page, right? You can.
You
I've done
can,
it.
yes.
You can click on it. So show us that. Show us the browser extension.
Oh. Well, it is blocking my pop-ups right now. Let's see. No, don't. Yeah, always allow.
Okay, well, move on.
Well, we'll
but
move on.
you can use that browser extension just like you did there for this. So if you have a branded hashtag, you can go in, use the browser extension, just look down that list and schedule out as many as you would like. I mean, it could be dozens. And I've done that in a time trial. I was able to do 10 in a minute, in under a minute. Mm-hmm. So you can really speed things up if you're willing to kind of use user-generated content in that way, or your own content in that way.
But again, make sure you have permission, and that's one thing with a branded hashtag. When people use that, you could put in there that it's sort of implicit permission. When someone uses hashtag Tailwind Family, then they're giving implicit permission to use their content. The photo that I scheduled was by our CEO, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be okay with it.
Yes, I'm sure he will.
Yeah, so
he's a nice guy.
Be careful with regramming. It's a very powerful tool, but like with any powerful tool, it can be double-edged. All right, so now that we have some content scheduled, we're going to, scheduled from the computer. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to schedule from your phone too. And I know we're talking a lot about the iPhone app, and that is the only app that we have right now, unfortunately. But if you are an Android user, we do have the option to get SMS text messages with the photo and with your description. So you can still use all of the desktop experience and be able to publish on your phone, which is super powerful. But for our iPhone users, so I'm on our blog and I want to schedule one of our amazing winners of the Takeoff Awards. So click down there, click on Tailwind, and I'm just going to grab this photo and save it to my drafts. So I have it to schedule later, because since I'm on the go, I might not necessarily have the time to put in the hashtags and the different keywords or anything that I want in there. So I'm just going to save it to drafts. And we will pop over to the iPhone app. And you can see here all of my scheduled content. If I wanted to take Will and Steven to next week, I can just drag down, changes are saved, or drag back up. This makes it so easy to edit your schedule on the go. It's amazing. And over here I have my drafts, so you see the photo that I took from our website. And on this last tab we have our published posts. So you can scroll through and see what you have published basically since the beginning of time. So I have a lot on here. I won't bore you guys with all of it.
I love watching you work on this, by the way. There should be like a Tailwind Olympics where people kind of have to do things in a certain amount of time. Just like a speed test. It's really impressive.
I think I have a little bit of a first mover advantage.
Yeah, you do. You've been winning gold in the first year.
Okay, so now that we've scheduled everything, we've created drafts, we've figured out all the different ways that you can create content, let's go ahead and schedule. So right now I am going to send back to drafts, and I'm going to schedule this one for just a couple minutes from now. My phone's being a little weird. It's saying it's 9:41. It's not. So if it doesn't schedule or remind me in a couple of minutes, then I'll just go ahead and schedule it. But we'll get out of that and we'll wait for a second. And you know, it would be great to, if we have any questions while we're waiting, or comments.
We do actually have one here, and if anybody has any other questions, please jump in and ask. So Charlotte Williams asks, what about hashtag engagement? Can you track the rates of how a certain hashtag does per day? So the answer to that, as far as I'm aware, is not on the Plus plan, which is the lower price plan, but that is a feature for enterprise users.
Yes.
And because that we have that feature, and that we're an Instagram partner and we have access to that data, means that there's a possibility that will make it onto the roadmap for us. Mm-hmm. And I think it's worth interjecting here that anybody who is one of our 100,000 members who already uses the tool for Pinterest will know that and this is one of the things I love about Tailwind, that we love to listen to our customers.
Definitely.
Not a day goes by, barely, where we don't have a meeting with our customers where we talk about how we could be better and what they would like. And we use that to put things onto the product roadmap. And looking at the product roadmap for Tailwind for Instagram, man, we've got some really fantastic ideas and some really fantastic improvements that are on the cards. So we'll be seeing a lot of great improvements, to the point where I have no doubt that you look at our tool in 6 months and there will be numerous reasons why we're the tool of preference. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to more growth from us.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that we're calling this a public beta. So we're still very much in the listening and paying attention to our customers and to the product roadmap as you guys lay it out for us. So as you're using the tool, please send in your feedback. Please tell us what you think, what you miss, what you need. All of that stuff. We love to listen to our customers.
We're like Cookie Monster for feedback. We're like,
Kind of more, yeah. All right, so I'm going to flip back over to my phone, and you can see it's time to post. Swipe now. And here is my post that I want to put up today. So it's a quote from Peg Fitzpatrick. I will say open in Instagram, and then you have this little pop-up dialog that says, oh, are you logged into the right account? I have my personal account and the Tailwind account logged in on my phone. So I'm going to say, I'm not sure. Let's check. And it shows that, yes, I am logged into the right account. So I'll pop back over, open in Instagram. Yes, let's do it. And you can see that it automatically opens up the photo right there, right where you can see it. I'll click next. I've already done my editing in Photoshop, so I'm not going to go through that. And I'll click next, paste, and then as I mentioned, I like to use hashtags, but I don't like to use them in the description. So I'm just going to copy all of these and delete. There's all my text, tagged Peg, okay, and share. Then come here and add in the comments all my hashtags. And we just scheduled a post.
Woohoo!
Yay, we did it. And so as you can see, it's really easy to do. I did that in probably 15 seconds or so, would you say? So from the time that you get the notification to the time that it goes on to Instagram, super fast.
So you've basically been disrupted by that every day for the last 3 months.
Pretty much.
Can you quantify like the difference between that and having to schedule and post and having to just post live and constantly keep that on your brain?
It wouldn't happen.
It didn't?
It didn't.
Right.
Without the reminder, I have a lot going on. It's just the two of us for the marketing team. And so we have a lot of things to do. Without that reminder and without everything planned out there that I can just easily grab, I spend maybe an hour a week putting everything together into the queue. And it's saved me so much time. Because if I had to post that live, I'd have to create the image, find out what Peg's handle is, go in, find some hashtags.
And you can do all of that at one time, right? You can just schedule out a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. Okay, so there's basically a time boxing advantage here. Yeah, that's okay, great. We do have a bunch of questions, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Okay,
let's go for it.
Here's some. Okay, so does Tailwind post to Instagram on your behalf? Or does it just do a reminder like you need to post? And I know we just covered that, but just reiterate for us.
So it is just a reminder, and because we are an Instagram partner, we choose and want to follow their terms of service and respect their wishes for the platform. And so any product that is claiming to post for you is going against their terms of service, and all of the ones that I've known of have either been shut down or the users get punished. Like your images won't show up in hashtag feeds.
Right. Instagram is the Insta network,
right.
And that's why it's part of their terms of service. They want you to have to do it live.
Right. It's in the moment. So even though it's scheduled and you're getting a reminder, if
you still have to manually publish it.
And so if something comes up, you can you can delete it or change the caption slightly. Just you can do it on the fly. So even though it is scheduled technically, you can still be in the moment when it's posted.
So a question from Carrie Kidd is, do you recommend posting only new content, or is it okay to repost old images for which you want to fuel interest? And this is a great question, right? Because it's different from Pinterest and some of the other social networks in that predominantly people at the moment post fresh content because it's that it's that sort of instant. What's your take on that?
My take is, I think it's okay if there's enough time in between. Because as you mentioned, Instagram is very much time-based. It's not like Pinterest. You're not seeing great content from 3 years ago surfacing, today. You're seeing the things that are most recent, most common. And so perhaps when you first post it, you didn't have a big following or you used the wrong hashtags. So if you have content that you think is really strong and really needs to be out there and you think you can really add some juice behind it, go ahead and repost it.
So, I think that some of the best sort of ways that people use this kind of scheduling functionality that I've observed is that they will take numerous photos of the same thing. Let's say they're promoting a blog post. Let's say they've made a beautiful cake and they take, 10 different images of it from different angles and stuff. They select the best 4 and then they schedule those out basically to go out with their comments, etc. And you can do that with bulk uploading really quickly.
Yeah.
Right? And then another great way is, like we just saw with the browser extension, user-generated content. Or it doesn't even have to be user-generated content, i.e. content of people talking about your brand. It could just be people talking about the same things that you love. If there's a specific hashtag that you just really love, you can get in there and repost things that you know that your audience will really like. It's original content to your audience. As long as you've got the right attribution in there and you ask for permission, that's a huge way that you can speed up the generation of content.
Right.
And if you're getting engagement for that and you're curating in a way that's similar to other social networks, it can be original, but it can still be just a lot of a more effective content engine than a lot of people are doing with this. Every image is sort of absolutely unique and absolutely mine.
Right.
And that's just a huge burden to put on yourself.
It is. And don't shy away from the quotes and the things that you can create in Photoshop or in Canva. I think those things do really well. And if it's related to your brand and is something that your audience wants to see, like our Insta tips, those aren't necessarily photos, but it's something that people want to see. Same thing with quotes.
And of course, the pieces of content that you do invest in, like our Insta tips, they're original pieces of content. They're going to do really well. You do want that cornerstone content. You do want that content that is yours, that other people are going to repost, right?
Yeah, we've had some reposted and it feels great. I love it when I get that.
Exactly. So another great question is, what is the pricing for this feature? Do we get some combo offers if using Tailwind for Pinterest and Instagram? And the answer to that is that Tailwind for Instagram and Tailwind for Pinterest are considered to be different, although united in the same dashboard products. So they cost the same. So if you have Tailwind for Pinterest and you want Tailwind for Instagram, it's going to cost you the same that you currently pay. It's going to double the cost basically.
Right.
And you can either do it's $9.99 if you pay annually per month, and it's $15 if you pay monthly.
Right. So for Pinterest and Instagram, every month it'd be $30.
So now, just let me mention something there, that there are other tools out there, right? That we looked at the competitive landscape, and we have unlimited scheduling on this, right? So that's kind of rare at that price point. $15 is a really great price point for unlimited scheduling. There are other tools out there that, it's double that if you want unlimited scheduling, basically.
Sure. Yeah, and that allows you to grow your schedule. So you can start with 1 and then move up to 2 and eventually get up to posting this 4 times a day like I'm trying to do this year.
Right.
Okay. Well, if we don't have any more questions, then the next thing that we're going to check out is our analytics. Get over here. And so the Tailwind profile is on an enterprise account, as you can see up here. So when you sign up for a plus plan, you will get 7 days of history and 7 days of likes, followers, posts, all of that stuff. So let me switch to that. But that allows you to get a really good benchmark for where you're at and how you're growing if you just keep up with how it's going. So of course up here we have followers, posts, and this is just the post that you are posting. So you can see I actually missed a day here. Whoops. But if it weren't for that one day, I've had a very...
Wait a minute, you missed a day, Melissa?
Oops. Apparently I didn't
You
post
never
on the
told me.
8th. This is quite a way for you to find out.
I knew that day wasn't a good day for us.
And then same thing with comments and likes, and you can see right here how many you have received within the past week. If we scroll down a little, we have the reaction score, which is the engagements per post, and that's showing how your content is resonating over all of Instagram. So the number of likes and comments for each photo, that's just the ratio there. And then for engagement score, that's showing the engagement per post per follower. So it's really looking at how your followers are interacting with your content. And as you can see here, Tailwind's been a little bit off with our followers recently. We've done really well over all of Instagram, but there's something that's not connecting for the past week with our followers. So that could be something that I want to look into. Maybe it was that one day that I missed. I'm very embarrassed that there's only 6 there. Then this last gauge here is the engagement rate. And that is just simply the percentage of pins with any sort of engagement. This doesn't necessarily mean that every single post of ours has a like or a comment. It just means that the total comments and likes per post, we have at least one for each post that we have on our profile.
Okay. So let's say we wanted to get in and figure out what's going wrong, like what's working and what's not working.
Sure. I think a great place to start is the post inspector. And when you're on the Plus plan, within the analytics, you have access to the post inspector, which we're in now, and then the profile performance, which we just looked at.
Right, so you can see your profile and you can see your individual posts. And,
Right.
and just a note on this, a lot of people want analytics for Instagram. They're aware that you can get it with a business, with Instagram for Business, by getting a business account basically
Right.
on Instagram. But they're wary. They don't necessarily want to do that. Or they're not a business. This is a great way for you to get access to analytics for your Instagram.
Yeah.
And to bring it together with scheduling, that's super powerful. So
Right, and so that's another thing that goes into what you get with the entire suite. It's not just scheduling, it's not just analytics, it's both. Very powerful tools for both. And so you can sort by the date posted. So if I wanted to see, what wasn't working this week potentially, I could scroll through here and say, oh, I guess people aren't interested in our snow day or whatever it might be.
you know what? I've actually noticed that people don't seem to engage as well. You pointed out that snow one. They don't seem to engage as well for us on these, which
Right.
the idea was we have a team that is in Oklahoma City, in New York, and then some distributed. So we've got all these people in fun places. Let's get them to kind of share pictures of where they are and just landscapes and stuff. And you know what? I got to say those aren't working as well. We got to rethink that beat, I think. And
It's the faces and getting introduced to who people are that really resonates.
and those Insta tips and the quotes as well. So
Right.
those ones I'm happy with. So but this Post Inspector is how I figured that out. I basically went through and went like, well, what's not working? If you sort it by likes, go ahead and right, you can see exactly what's working. And you know what's working best? When we talk about Instagram,
Yep, that's very true. Yeah.
which makes a ton of sense.
And then you have some random things thrown in here. But yeah, so it's really interesting to see, like, these are our top posts.
The second one's a
And then-
regram, by the way.
These really old photos.
Those are our
Man,
top
super
posts.
old.
It's
And
like
you can do
looking
the
back in
same
time.
thing with comments. So
Oh yeah, okay.
our most commented image is actually a video that we posted on launch day. And so we got a lot of people asking us questions or saying congratulations, things like that. And seeing 20 comments, you could say like, I don't remember seeing all of those. Let me go back into that post and reply to all of those people who were thanking us or saying nice things and answer some questions.
So you can hit that see comments button and you can basically use this as a way to engage with people.
Right. So it's just right here.
And that's nice.
They're all there, and you can add your comment and submit it right in here.
Okay, cool. So, and of course you can schedule from here, right? So if
Right.
you had posts, like, let's say you've been doing this for a couple of years like we have, there's a good chance that well, we only had a few hundred followers at the beginning. Like we could
Right.
schedule some of our really old stuff that really made sense if we wanted to save some time. I'm not suggesting that we necessarily are going to do that,
But
we
it's
could.
right here. And it's kind of funny, you'll notice that the emojis sometimes don't pull in correctly. That's all that is right there. Man,
Okay.
woman, girl, poodle. It's kind of funny to see, but those are just emojis.
Okay.
So don't get confused by that.
So I got a couple of questions from folks, if I may.
Sure.
Good questions, guys. Keep them coming. Thank you. Amy Sopa asks, what if you have two separate small businesses? Can you use the same Tailwind account?
I don't believe so. I am not positive though. It's all very new even to us.
Okay. So we'll come back to you on that.
We'll come back to you.
Okay, and we'll answer
We'll
that
ask
question.
we'll ask some developers. Since they made the tool, they probably know a little bit better
Right.
than us.
Okay, Amy, you stumped us. You win
You
the
have.
prize. Okay, so Aliona asks, is it able to find popular hashtags?
We can't do that on the Plus plan. But
Which is the $10 to $15 plan.
correct.
But we can on the
On Enterprise, you
On
can
Enterprise.
add hashtags to. It's called hashtag monitoring. So while it won't necessarily find the hashtags for you, you can add certain ones. So we've added, marketing, social media marketing, and then you can go through and see what are the popular posts, what different hashtags are they using, who are the popular people within using those hashtags. And
So the answer is not right now, unless you're an enterprise customer. If you're an enterprise customer, then yes. But it's data that we have, and we would love to figure out a way to get that into everybody's hands. That works really well with our mission, which is to really empower all marketers. Okay, let's keep on moving.
well, that's
Wait a minute, that's everything?
everything.
Okay, well, fantastic. All right, so we'll share again the link, which is tailwindapp.com/Instagram. You can get a free trial. The free trial is 30 posts.
Yep.
And if anybody is an affiliate or using the referral link from your dashboard to get additional months of free Tailwind, you can use the same links that you've been using before to share Tailwind and get it out to your friends. You give a month and you get a month when somebody becomes a paid member.
Yeah, so that's a great way to get a free account. We don't mind not paying us if you're sharing it with the world, basically.
In fact, you just go ahead and
Just do it.
and
It's
do
fine.
that all you like, all day long. Okay, well, any final questions? Let me just mention to you, Melissa, that Peg says props to Tailwind for showing all of their stats on their own account for their new product. That's amazing transparency. So good work.
We
and
pride ourselves on transparency.
You're very
too.
gutsy to do this, to come on here and demo this live. So thank you, and thank you for all this
Thankfully,
hard
nothing
work.
broke,
Yes.
so that was good.
Well, we look forward to seeing more of you, and we're going to continue talking about Instagram, continue educating as best as we know how, and we look forward to an exciting year.
Yeah.
Yay, Tailwind for Instagram, and thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.